Showcasing local talent, professionals, and everyday people making Salt Lake City what it is today. It's time for another episode of the I Am Salt Lake podcast.
I want to welcome each and every one of you back for a brand new episode of the I Am Salt Lake podcast. This is episode 157. My name is Chris Hollifield. I am your host. This is my show. Thank you so much for listening in and consuming this however you're doing that, whether it's while you're on a walk, you're running on the treadmill, or if you're just listening to it on your way to work in your car. Thank you so much for checking out my podcast. It was a nice little break from the show. I never meant to take that long of a hiatus. If you notice, if you go to the website at iamsaltlake.com, you'll notice the last episode was posted July 28th of last year. Yeah, I took a little bit of a break. It never meant to be that long. I'm not going to sit here and bore you with excuses. Pretty much there were some other projects and things I needed to work on. I wanted to take a tiny break from the show, and it was nice. I'm not going to lie. It was nice to step away from it, but I missed you guys. I missed talking to people here in Salt Lake and finding out their stories. So I'm back. I should be back for my normal weekly episodes. So you're going to want to make sure to subscribe in iTunes, Stitcher Radio, however you're consuming podcasts. You can find all of the contact information, all the links, all of that at iamsaltlake.com, as well as you can dig through the back catalog and listen to some other great interviews that I've had with individuals and bands and business owners, artists. I've talked to some really cool people here in Salt Lake, so make sure to give some of those other episodes a listen. Hey, I got a great show for you guys today. Folk Hogan joins me. I go over to their practice space here in downtown Salt Lake City, and I sat down with them, and I got a chat about their new CD that they got coming out. They got that coming out in April. We talk about their the release show that's going to be going on April 10th at the Urban Lounge. We talk about their tour. We talk about what they've been up to as a band. I had a really awesome time chatting with them. If you, for the longtime listeners, you might remember I chatted with them in the beginning days of I Am Salt Lake, and it was fun to catch up with them. It was fun to have them back on the show. They're a great band, and if you haven't had an opportunity to check them out, I'm going to be playing a couple songs, actually, from the brand new CD of theirs titled The Show. I'm going to be playing that here on this episode. Hopefully, it'll give you a taste of what this CD is all about. I got a copy of it, an advanced copy, and let me tell you what, it's gonna blow you guys away. I highly recommend you buying a copy of it April 10th at the Urban Lounge. If you're outside of Salt Lake, if you can't get a copy, if you can't make it to the show, make sure to pre-order it. You can go get all of that at folkhogan.com and support these guys. These guys are great guys. They've been supportive of the I Am Salt Lake podcast pretty much since the beginning, and it means a lot to me that they're just such supportive, nice guys. So with that being said, really quickly, I want you guys to also check out American Musicians Radio. You could check that at amr.fm. I'm going to be doing some really cool things with them. John Farmer's been a longtime friend of mine, and we're going to be teaming up with the podcast and American Musicians Radio. So with that being said, let's jump into the conversation that I had with the guys from Folk Hogan down at their practice space in downtown Salt Lake City. Thanks for listening.
Hey, yeah, we met.
Yeah. I knew that was going to happen because
Yeah.
Sunday is the day where we can get away wearing our own shit.
Right.
We're not going to get made fun of it by our coworkers. We're not going to be like playing a show. Like
Yeah.
And so inevitably there's at least two like in the group that are like wear our Folk Hogan shirts on Sundays.
Yeah,
Do coworkers make fun of you for wearing your own?
No,
band?
It's a general
just
band
like,
rule.
It's this weird thing. It's like it's just like you don't wear the. I don't know.
Don't take yourself too seriously.
I've never really decided if we're like more like in the same mindset as like hip hop, where you just wear your own shit like head to toe
all the time.
like on stage. It doesn't fucking matter, or like.
We can swear on this, right?
Or like
You can swear all you want.
Seedless, bro.
or like
Get my brand.
yeah.
So you go the opposite spectrum and you just never wear your own stuff ever.
Yeah.
'Cause it's weird.
Well,
I like my Folk Hogan
I can
shirt.
get these shirts for pretty cheap, so
Promise.
as opposed to others.
We played a show with a band a couple of years ago, and the entire band, all 6 members, were in their band's shirts.
Oh yeah, that
And
was.
it was the tackiest fucking thing
And they, like,
I've ever
much
seen in my
criticism.
entire
They like
life.
showed up with like their cars, and all cars all had their band stickers on, and it's just
Little
like
rat.
kind of just like I don't know. I get it because it's like you're trying to build a brand in a sense. Like you're small, like you're trying to like I don't know, but
But at the same time,
at the same time, it's just like it's still like a faux pas. Like it's just like oh,
Do you ever get people to come up to you and you're wearing a Folk Hogan shirt and they're like, man, that's a shitty band?
like no.
if anything,
I've had.
They don't realize you're in the band.
I've had
They
people.
talk shit on it.
Well, and it's hard out of context. Like, I saw you at the Green Pig after not seeing you for a year, and I didn't recognize you for like a flat 10 seconds.
Was I clean shaven or what did I have?
You
I
went
can't
from
remember.
clean shaven to like
Beardly.
mountain man beard
Yeah, well, I can grow a beard
and different
overnight.
glasses, and like
Yeah.
there's like a couple beers left. There's some Pabst Blue Ribbon there. Yeah. I just brought like a couple. I just brought what I had in my fridge. It's just orphans. But out of context, like I've had somebody come up to me before and say,
yeah, they're all warm.
I've had somebody come up to me before and say like, "Oh, Folk Hogan, I see those guys all the time. Have you ever watched them play?" Or like,
Well, that's what I'm
love that.
talking about. Not
Like, they don't
realizing you were in
realize-
the
Oh,
band.
yeah,
that
that's
happens.
happened.
I was in the
Yeah.
bank once, and the chick was like, "I love that band.
Same.
I've seen him so
Yeah.
many times." And I was like, "Really? Where'd you see Where'd you see him?" Like
Yeah.
I didn't even say it, that I was in the
See, I
band
had
at first.
I had a time at the bank where it was like the guy was like,
Where did you
just
see
like, hey,
some-
you know, he just happened to ask like, do you play in this band? I was like, yeah, I play banjo in this band. He's like, oh, I saw this one band. They opened up for Anti-Flag after this really shitty band, and they were the coolest. And he was just going off, and I was just like, oh, I'm in that band. now my head's too big. I can't get out the door. Don't do that to me.
anyways,
So
we're
I'm sitting down with Folk Hogan at their practice space in Salt Lake City, Utah. Here we're going to do some catch up. Episode. I should have looked it up. 20. So I'll put it in the intro of this. What episode I had the band on, and then I've had Moses on the podcast. I've had Canyon and Nick on the podcast. I think that's it, right? On single episodes, and then now we have the whole band back after my long hiatus of doing the I Am Salt Lake podcast. So.
episode 25.
Is that what I thought it was about 25, and this will be episode 150. What did I say? 158.
157.
Oh, did I say one? Okay, 157.
Because it wasn't 69.
It was. You were upset about it not being 69 in the episode. So anyway, we have two. There's two new since the last episode, right? Well, let's just go around the circle. I mean, kind of. I know we'll repeat some stuff, but who's here? What do you play? Let's start there in the generic way.
I don't know why I'm waving.
He's waving.
Hello, audience. I'm Cameron. I play banjo in this funny band.
I'm Moses. I play the mandolin and I sing songs.
I'm Canyon. I play the accordion and sing songs.
I'm Jared, and I play bass and I sing the songs.
I'm Nick. I play guitar.
I'm Curtis and I play the drums.
You guys,
Curtis and I,
Curtis, what say
Cameron.
Cameron? Gosh, sorry,
Okay.
I should have brought a pen to write these down. Anyways, you guys weren't on. This new recording that you guys have coming out that we're going to get into in a second. You guys weren't on the old recording, right?
No.
Yeah, and so this is your second CD, right?
Correct.
Full length.
Second full length.
Curtis was not on the first album, but he was our drummer for the CD release for that album. So
Yeah.
it's like
Okay.
Yeah.
So actually, I think that you
So
guys
you,
did
like-
the podcast like right before
Yeah.
I started.
I think because I think we were talking about that how you were looking for a
Kicked
drummer.
it off.
Yeah.
Like new album, new drummer. Boom.
Actually, I'm pretty sure it was like the day after that I was at the first practice.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
it's all coming together.
New drummer, new album, new
Decades
band.
ago.
So Curtis and Cameron, how long have you guys been in the band then?
I've been in the band a little bit over a year. I think my first show is January 6th.
Last year.
Year and a month. Yeah.
Yeah. With me, I officially joined the band 2 years ago, but like at that point, I was kind of filling in while they were looking for a drummer, and I was kind of toying with the idea for a bit, and then eventually I just sucked it up and joined them.
So did you know any of these guys before either one
actually,
of you?
I used to work with Moses and Jared over at Guitar Center.
Okay.
And so I actually went to the first several shows, and I was just always baffled by the whole concept of the band, and it was just always mind blowing. And eventually, I was able to be a part of it. So
This is the first band I've ever been in.
Really?
Yeah.
And you play the banjo?
Yeah.
You play
And
any
I-
other instruments?
Guitar mostly. I've been playing guitar for 12 years, something like that. And Yeah, I picked up the banjo a couple years ago, and it's just a ton of fun. Even though these guys give me a ton of shit about it, but that's okay.
No, I took lessons for about 6 months, banjo lessons, and it's a tough instrument to try to learn.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot more entertaining than guitar.
Do you know how to learn how to play it faster?
How do you
Sleep with your sister.
That's a good joke.
Eventually, we'll go back to making fun of tambourines, but Cameron's still in the first year phase here.
Yeah, it's true.
It's almost over. I think it's over.
What's wrong with that drum?
Almost.
Oh wow!
We had to put a gag order on our own band because we played with a band that was so much like us that we just had things that we thought were hilarious to say, but we realized, hey,
That's heckling.
our jokes aren't really that funny to them. They're really funny to us, but that's the extent of it. We got up there with a banjo and all the fun
All those
stuff.
jokes out of context are just really inappropriate.
So how often do you guys practice at this space? I mean, a couple times a week or what?
Twice a week.
Twice a week.
Yep.
At least twice a week.
We usually do 5 hours on Sunday and 3 hours on Tuesday.
5 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, not all of that is straight playing. We sit around and drink beer and have fun too.
Yeah.
We
But
just discuss promotional
Yeah.
campaigns.
we have to talk a lot of business stuff as well.
Political campaign.
Political affiliation.
Folk Hogan
and there's spaghetti
2016.
dinners.
Well, let's talk. Go into some of what you have going on. I mean, you have a new CD coming out. Finally, right?
Finally.
Because
Yes.
it's been. Because I know I talked to one of you about it, when I had you guys on singly. I don't know if each time, but because it was supposed to come out a while back, wasn't it?
Well, we've just really taken our time with it, honestly.
Is that kind of what's been the holdup? Is you just taking your time?
We're just honestly, I think we very much could have had it out a long time ago, but we didn't want to rush any aspect of it. Everyone wanted to make sure it was what we wanted, and we were very selective about when we actually wanted to have the release. We wanted to be able to have plenty of time to promote. So, because we know too many bands that are friends of ours that, because of the nature of getting discs printed, sometimes they'll get their discs the day of their CD release show.
Like us.
Or that happened with our first album, and we hated that. Like, we had no time to do any promotion for it. So,
Yeah, stuff can happen. Things can get delayed. I mean, it's.
We just had the lights turned out on us.
I just
Thinks it's too bright.
It's
pay the bills.
Oh, it feels great now.
No, it is.
Well,
It's
we just
very,
gotta
it's
adjust.
very relaxing.
Just here.
Now we need a hookah.
So
is
when
why the
is the
album's
when is the release date
the release is...
or the release show? I guess the release
it's,
show.
April 10th, and that'll be the release date for the album as well.
Okay. So April 10th.
April 10th, we're playing at Urban Lounge that evening with 6 Feet in the Pine, and it's going to be a hell of a good night, that's for sure.
Yeah, we're
Where-
expecting
six-
to sell it out.
Who 6 Feet in the? Are they from? I'm not familiar.
They're a
with
local
them.
band. Yeah.
Local band.
They're more of like a kind of more bluegrass, but a little darker
Okay.
sounding. They're really cool, but we wanted something a little bit different. I think for our opening act.
They're really they're going to be a really good match. Like the lineup's going to make sense.
So it's just you two then.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's one of the things that's been really fun about being in this band over the years is we're such a weird band that it's not that we get to play with a lot of different lineups. We've played with ska bands. We've played with
Marlon's Beard.
we've
bands.
played with like
Metal bands.
wizard
like
metal
that.
bands. We've played with
Wizard metal.
we've played with like a bunch of different genres and that's been really kind of fun because we've got to interact with a lot of other people's crowds as well as kind of cultivate our own in that regard.
What day of the week? April 10th. What day of the
That's
week?
a
is
Friday.
That? Friday. So perfect. I mean, no excuses.
Right.
Chances are you don't have to work the next day.
It's a Wednesday night and
It's pretty cheap, isn't it?
Very cheap.
Like if you get pre-tickets.
We decided $5 for pre-sale
Entire
tickets.
dollars. That's like
Yeah.
10 tacos from Del Taco.
Yeah.
Nothing.
So where
What?
can people get tickets in?
folkhogan.com has we're actually running all the ticket sales through our own website. If you know any of the band members personally, they've got tickets on them at any time. We have been we've been knocking doors. We've been knocking some doors, 2x2, getting the white shirt and tie on, and
selling them door to door.
Selling them door to door, and it's the Utah way.
Yeah. If you see anyone with a yellow sash, they have tickets. That's real.
So and
is that a Girl Scout thing?
Probably.
It's the only salesman I want.
Or-
I love those cookies.
a box of cookies with a ticket.
Oh my gosh, we could.
We were thinking about doing a golden ticket thing where we
That
put
would be
each ticket in a candy bar and sold them as candy bars.
We can't do that, primarily because that would just be like.
That would eat your profits.
That would just that would just be like the sweatiest
we would eat
show.
our profits.
It's
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we decided
We'd have to have like multiple places to park like Jazzies and Rascal scooters. If we were offering a box of cookies, it would be like a diabetes convention.
We decided it would be better to have a cheap show that more people could attend than, making money and not having as many people there.
Absolutely.
Want it to be
It's a great venue. I mean, Urban Lounge.
Urban centralized.
It's a lot.
Parking.
It's a lot for a big, big show like this. It's a lot more fun to implore each of our fans to attend this one night, all together in a big group than, just a select few or something like that. I mean, this is really going to be a memorable event because it's going to be packed. And, I don't know, I recently went to a show at Bar Deluxe where Murder by Death was playing and Hectic Hobo was opening, and it was sold out. It was a sold out show and wall-to-wall people, and it's a completely different, I've been in that room a lot of times, but it's a completely different experience when it's a sold out show.
The energy's a lot different.
You find yourself getting 2 beers when you go to the bar because it's not convenient anymore, and you get locked in on the crowd and you kind of become part of the group.
What about your fans though that are under 21?
We don't really have a lot of fans that are under 21. We have a few. But
and awesome. That's good.
But why don't you think you do? Just because?
Well,
majority is
really the tone and the message of a lot of our music just doesn't appeal to a younger crowd. It's just not our demographic.
You've done a poll on Facebook.
If you're well,
I'm messing with you.
There actually are certain metrics in place. When you have a Facebook page, it will tell you, who's liked the page, and there's similar setup on sites like Reverb Nation. But really, what it comes down to is that I feel fine, pushing songs about alcohol and drinking and whiskey to a 21 plus crowd, and I don't feel good about that, those same songs to a teenage crowd because they haven't really developed the skills and self-control and moderation that
when you're drink
that our 30-year-old fans have.
Yeah. Well, saying sip, sip, sip isn't as good of a lyric. So it's sip, 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 nurse your beer. And it's not a good drinking song.
Drink some O'Douls.
Drink some O'Douls.
There's also a certain level of accessibility in the sense that there's not many all-ages venues anymore anyway. And it's how often do we get asked to play for someone at those venues,
Yeah, we do a lot of...
Shred Shed's not even open there anymore.
Shred Shed's down.
And we do, when it gets warmer out, we do a lot of festivals. We have a lot of all ages crowds. A lot of our friends and family and fans, they all have kids, and there's those events kind of have their time and place, but really for what we wanted to do, the environment and the size and everything, this was a really good fit.
I agree. I was just curious.
No, it's a really good question because, that being said,
we all got drunk before we were 21.
Well,
I would have appreciated a band that was just all right, cool.
Yeah. That being said, we do have all ages fans.
This album is a lot more geared towards that too. Then
That's true.
Geared towards all ages, or
It's
21?
just a bit more accessible.
less
lyrically.
drinking songs.
we
It's
initially
not-
wrote it as a festival set.
Yeah,
so
it's not. It doesn't
counter
feature
drunk
drinking
set.
songs the way that our first album did.
How many songs are on the new album?
15.
15 songs.
And the new, when we play the release, we're actually going to play the whole album front to back.
Really?
Yeah.
Without stopping. Like we've been working on being able to do the whole album. Most of the songs have transitions that go into each other.
Yeah, it's a
so it'll
concept
just
type
be
album.
a straight, 65, 70 minute block of music. And then we'll come out and play some of the other stuff.
Goofy stuff.
Yeah.
We've got some new stuff we haven't played before. We're gonna probably show too.
Which is special, by the way.
And the new CD will be for sale at this show, obviously.
Yeah, it's up right now for pre-sale.
You're going to sell out of them at the show, I'm sure, right?
Well, we printed 1,000 copies, so
Double
yes, it's not out of the
40,
realm.
Maybe within 48
If everyone
hours,
that came bought
If everyone
2.5 copies,
Yeah.
we would sell out.
No, we do. It's a really good place to pick up that CD because that's kind of the fastest route of transmission.
It'll be available other places too, and only $10 is what we're charging,
Yeah,
which is awesome.
one of the things we haven't been in a real hurry to do this time is like put it up on iTunes and Spotify, and that'll all come later. But we've been trying to kind of run things through our own platform and our own website because we really do want people revisiting folkhogan.com and seeing our list of shows and seeing what's upcoming and interacting with the pages. And
It's a beautiful website.
What can you find on the website, folkhogan.com?
everything.
So
every lyric, every song.
Yeah, it's got everything from lyrics to chords to play some of the songs.
It has
to
lyrics to some
photos,
live
videos. It has an archive that lists every show we've ever played.
there's a 404 page if you type in the URL wrong. That's interesting enough,
That's true.
If you're a computer nerd or something.
Yeah, I mean, if we've been fortunate enough to have a website for a long time. We've had a lot of time to play around with it and kind of figure out what it was going to be on there. But the artwork for the flyers and we have total control on that realm, where we don't have control on a social media platform like Facebook or Twitter. It's kind of like what you see is what you get, and that's how the page works.
Facebook charges you to promote to your own audience, and we're trying to get around that because eventually it's just going to be unfeasible to spend that much.
They've been kind of gearing back how pages display to their fan bases, and on the flip side,
There is none.
there is none.
Yeah, what is the flip side, Nick?
On the flip side,
on the-
Facebook is making
basically-
billions of dollars.
Yeah, basically you can.
But you need a Facebook to survive in today's world.
Absolutely.
Which is
And
ridiculous.
That's only
Absolutely. Because that's where people are. That's what's engaging. That's what.
That's where people can be
Yeah.
the laziest, is what it is. Like, if we could say the right thing to get anybody to actually go to the website and explore it, there's a lot there.
Yeah, but I
People
think
just rather look at their cover photo really quick and like it and never have it come up in their feed. It doesn't make much sense.
But to be blatantly transparent, if you like a band or a business or something, the best thing that you can do for them is, if you're purchasing something or you're interacting with them, is go straight to the source. Don't go through another entity. As an artist, if someone buys an album off of iTunes for $9.99, the artist receives, 2/3 of that, and iTunes keeps the rest. And like for an independent artist, like we paid for the album, we produced it. We don't have a record label. We're completely independent in that regard. And so it's like paying your money to a ticket scalper.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a really good platform and it's convenient. And if you got an iTunes gift card sitting there and you want an easy way to get it on your phone, then do it. I mean, don't not buy it, but just know if you're going to support a business, whether it's the the cupcake shop around the corner, go to the cupcake shop. Don't go through Groupon. Don't go through whatever.
Now, what about Spotify, though? I mean, you guys don't see a dime of that, though, when people listen to your
Well, a
music.
dime is an appropriate number, actually.
We got about a check for.
Didn't we get a check for like 67 cents or something?
I don't know.
it was like $5.
But to be the devil's advocate, I enjoy Spotify.
Oh, yeah,
I enjoy
absolutely.
iTunes. I like all this stuff. It's changed the way that we get music. But what's cool about what they've done is they've actually, like, for people that have a $9.99 subscription every month, they're actually paying more to subscribe to Spotify than, people were spending in the boom of, like, the 90s and the CD era, where they were going to the store and buying, like, hordes of CDs. The average person ends up spending more if they have a subscription of that than they did in the, in the CD bubble.
Wait, you spend more? $10 a month? You
Yeah.
think it's more than what people... Shoot, I used to spend $60, $80 a week buying CDs back in the day.
Yeah, that's
some
back
of
when
us-
CDs came with heroin.
Some of us, yeah.
Well, you buy 6, 8 albums a week at $10
Yeah.
a pop. I mean,
I mean, and
when I lived at home with my mom.
right. And, obviously physical CDs are still, like, really cool. I mean, we see, like, vinyl making a big resurgence. Like,
Is this album on vinyl or no?
No,
Not yet. Not yet. Maybe one
we're
day.
working on it. I mean, there's some cool stuff in the background.
It's an extremely long album, and so to fit it on vinyl, it'll take a lot. It'll probably be pretty pricey.
Both sides.
Yeah, we might end up being able to make that happen.
Yeah.
But anyways, the long of the short is, like, if you can buy something directly from the person producing it, it's actually better for them because they're not having to give some of that profit to somebody else. However, if that's convenient, go ahead,
Yeah.
right on, buy it from Amazon or iTunes or
It's better than not
whatever.
getting it at all.
Well, exactly, because I'm sure you want anybody to hear your music. Now, what about the artwork for the new album? I mean, who did you get do that? Let's talk about the artwork.
Yeah, we had a friend of ours, Wade Bray, drew all of these characters, and then he surprised us with this portrait, this about 2 by 3 foot portrait that ended up ultimately becoming the album cover. And then the character artwork is kind of sprinkled through the liner notes, and when you actually see the packaging, it's a digipack, which is what the cardboard. That's what they call the cardboard packaging, is a digipack. The fold-out cardboard with a clear plastic tray. We've always liked that because we felt like it was more interesting and significant than a jewel case. Like, it's almost kind of like a mini vinyl in a way.
Yeah. It's a little book to read, too.
Yeah, and so this one actually, like, we spared no expense at getting it exactly locked into what we wanted. And so when you open up that package, there's an 8-page booklet that pulls out of one of the sleeves that's the side, and there's a download card there so that you can type in that information. You don't ever have to put the disc in anything if you don't want to download all that with all the data, all the track names and the artwork already put on there, right from our website. And then, so the artwork is all been basically from Wade. And then we had the same graphic artist that actually did all of our artwork for the last album, Patrick Patno, took all of that, digitized it, by means of scanning and photographs and whatnot, and he used that throughout the artwork of the album. And so from that, we've come up with a bunch of different things, and we've really gotten a lot of mileage out of those characters, and it's really cool. There's a
Lunchbox, get your lunchbox, folkhogan.com, shameless promotion.
The Cadillac, I don't know if there'll be any left, really, but
so you're selling lunchboxes. Canyon mentioned lunchboxes and flasks, right?
Yeah, we did like some product like groups. So you can get just the CD, or you can get a shirt and a CD, or you can get a shirt, a CD, a poster, and some buttons, or then like the big, huge $50 pack that
which is still a great deal.
That ends up being like really kind of awesome for what you pay. Like $50 will get you a shirt, the album, a lunchbox, a flask, a button pack, a poster, a sticker, and a bottle opener. Like all of that stuff, and it's all brand new for this album, and it's got all that character art on it. And
people can go to folkhogan.com and get that right now.
Yeah, and
right?
it's a limited quantity thing. We only did 25 of them. We're only going to do 25 of them, so they're selling very quickly. But they're going to be kind of like this thing that like somewhere down the road it's going to be like, oh, you got one of those? Oh, I got one of those too. Like they're really kind of a fun keepsake.
Geek out on
and it's been interesting because one of the things we didn't even think about was that some of our we have this wide range of fans, all the way up to like our parents' age, and some of them have been the first to order the lunchboxes because that was what was cool when they were a kid.
Yeah.
And we didn't even think about that. We were just like, oh, what would be awesome? Oh, let's do this. So they're posting it on their Facebook pages and saying, oh, look at this. Oh, that's so cool. Which one's, which character? So the characters actually belong to individual band members.
So each one has a unique character on
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So Cameron is the butcher. Moses is the lion tamer. Canyon is the ringmaster. Jared's the illusionist. And Nick is the fire breather. And I am the flying trapeze.
Okay.
So, it's really cool, how he did that, and each one of those is, each character has a song devoted directly.
So if you only made 25, do you guys each get to keep one?
No. I'm buying one.
I'm buying
You're
one.
gonna buy one?
Probably, yeah.
That's how devoted.
So there's 6 that we're all
You're
right there.
Yeah.
And your parents probably want one.
Some of the parents want one. I mean, it has to, there's so many of us, and we're producing so many unique items all the time that, if we all just, stole one from the band, we'd just,
never have anything.
Because that's really a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
There's not a huge amount of profit, per se, on it or anything. It's just really a tool to help gain excitement about the album and gain some traction and make it more interesting than, hey, my band released an album last week. Too bad you didn't hear about it.
Yeah.
Let's before we get too far here, let's get a song from the new album.
Well, speaking of Nick Passy as the fire breather.
Yeah.
This song
Talk about the song for a second.
This song is called Fire Breather. There's also a companion music video. So that
Awesome.
you can
you watch it yet, or will it be?
You can follow along. That's live.
That's on the website or on YouTube.
Yeah, our YouTube account is Folk Hogan Gods. It's all one word. But you can search Fire Breather Folk Hogan, and that will pop up in the results.
So in this song, it's about when the album is really starting to take off. I think it's 5 or 6 tracks in, and Moses is
4 tracks.
4 tracks.
Yep.
Yeah. This is when the
Really
real
starts to get
crescendos
awesome.
starts to explode.
There's a very robust midsection to this album.
Yeah.
Yes.
There is.
Robust.
All right. Well, we'll stitch that in and come back to the.
Wait, let's just do that.
Or was there
here
more
it
you
is,
want?
you guys. We're gonna play it really quick.
We're gonna play it here. April 10th, Urban Lounge. You can buy the CD and check these guys out. Come to the show and
$5.
and tell these guys that you heard them on the I Am Salt Lake podcast. But we'll come back. We'll chat some more with Folk Hogan.
Travel the road, my heart's made of ice and my veins are all cold. No woman or whiskey to keep me awake. I have only one escape, and I traveled so long from north to the south. Whatever I eat turn to ash in my mouth, and I never sleep, though I never tire. Talk of the town. My wife was the prettiest woman around. We were healthy and wealthy and hadn't a care. Someone wasn't willing to share. My wife had a lover when she said goodbye. He came to my house with hate in his eyes and said in a phrase, set that tent aglow.
First album compared to this album, would you say this album was easier because you
Way
were
harder
familiar with the recording process?
You know what? We're all super familiar with the recording process, so
Okay.
like, we're all good at that. That's
What was the most challenging thing with this new album?
really
Just dealing with that Brad guy's personality. I wish that he'd shut his business
He's
down.
just
seriously.
He's too. I wish he would shut his business down and move to Tennessee.
This is the album that ruined Salt Lake recording service.
No. After we finished the album, he
backstory.
actually closed his studio and did move to Tennessee.
Yeah, Salt Lake
But
recording service.
he still
is
comes.
no more.
He still comes back and works over at that studio occasionally.
And he is flying in for the release show.
under a different
is.
name.
Yes, he
And
is.
he will be
But
there.
Under a
Great
different
guy.
name.
Realistically,
Brad McMarley.
I think that the main difference, like, the recording process wasn't really any different. We were just a lot more
Drunk.
we were a lot more drunk, as we tend to record things that way. But
we weren't
mostly,
that bad.
like, we really just had fun with it. Jared was just like, let's go all out. Like, I'm gonna go get some timpanis and a marimba.
Yeah.
And, like, we're gonna, like, bring orchestra instruments in, and we're just gonna get crazy. And, like, he organized this whole thing that we could bring those in.
Weird.
And it was amazing.
Awesome. It was fun.
So there's all sorts of cool stuff in there, and I'm 10 times more proud of this album. I mean, it's just
a lot more complex.
it's a lot more complex. The songs
more
are
emotional.
themselves are a lot more complex. I know it's true for me, and I'm sure it's true for some other people in the band. Like, the first album, I was still learning how to play my instrument, and by the second album, I felt a lot more comfortable on my instrument, and so I think we're willing to take some more chances with it, and I think it's honestly just considerably more interesting music.
Yeah.
We've grown together a lot. Like, it's clear that we've been playing together, most of us for 4 years, and the rest of us at least 1 or 2. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was really fun recording. Definitely, I'd only been playing for a year at the time, and it was just like, I don't know what to do.
And
I mean, it's some long hours in the studio, right?
12
I mean,
hours,
did
yeah,
you
all the
take
time, yeah.
time off of work and
Yeah.
and come in and record this? And
Well, with the first album, we did the whole album in 7 days. We all took a week off and went in the studio and just
fast blasted, man.
we were there all day, every day. This album was a bit more spaced out. We were there for about a week, solid.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, it took a lot on top of that still. It took us, a couple months to really get through recording, but it was pretty sparse. We took our time with it. We didn't feel the rush that we felt with the first album. We just were more focused on.
why did you
Making it
feel
good.
rushed on the first album compared?
We
to
needed something to show people.
We were
didn't have
excited
anything.
too. It was like super excitement. Like, we're gonna get our first album out. Like, this is gonna be awesome.
And those songs were worked too. Like, we were good at them.
Yeah.
So what's been the gap then? The first album came out 3 years? It's 4 years.
Correct, yeah.
2012.
3 years.
And so we've pretty much been working on this album since then. We've been writing the songs for it.
We've been writing this
tweaking.
album for the same amount of time. Like, we started both albums almost at the same time. knowing that we'd put out the drinking album first, and then the festival album afterwards.
Well, I mean, at the same time, there are some songs on the album where we as a band finished like basically about the week before that we went in to record them. Like we had Canyon had actually written the songs, but us as a band had just barely played them all the way through for the first time.
Of them,
Yeah.
So for about 2 or 3 of them.
It's interesting. I think the album overall is.
You think fans are going to be pretty happy with it, I'm sure.
And it's interesting because it's not necessarily an easily digestible album in comparison. The first album is very...
It's 40 minutes of 3-minute rock songs, and this one,
and
it gets a little more intense.
This album has a lot of awesome movement to it, and
each one of the characters has a musical theme that you can hear come in and out throughout the album, which is neat. Something I really wanted to do.
Something people do they have to listen for that? Or
they don't have to.
Yeah.
You can listen wherever you want.
I think it's pretty.
You listen to that record wrong.
But yeah, I mean, if you sat down with the mindset and understanding that this is a concept album. There are certain melodies and themes that come in and out, kind of like a movie score would. They're at the beginning of the movie. You'll hear a riff or you'll hear a theme, and it will reoccur. And this album is not unlike that. I mean, there's a song called Reprise where it brings in several elements of previous songs and
pushes them all together, and then it explodes in your face.
So, with the combination of that and the way that the songs flow in and out, and are stitched together, if you come in to listen to it with that mentality, you'll get something different out of it. But if you just sat down and listened to it, you'll probably enjoy it too.
I've been telling people to use good sound and do it like a movie, like as a theme almost.
Yeah, it's definitely something where you can close your eyes and almost imagine a rock opera float the entire time.
You can visualize it all. It's very descriptive.
Yeah.
Well, it makes me think of like you play like Pink Floyd during Wizard of Oz or something. You guys should do something like that with a movie, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Sync it up.
Sync it up like Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, it have to be something silly.
If you start the Wizard of Oz and this album at the same time,
it'll make no sense.
To make it the dark side of the moon ceases to exist.
Right. If you get an original film reel of Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds and play it backwards, it will perfectly sync up with the birds leaving.
Yeah, actually, one thing though is when we do release the vinyl, then when you play it backwards, it will say Moses is dead.
Yep.
Moses is
conspiracy.
Yeah. Let's talk about you guys just played a couple shows out of state, right?
Yeah, we've been
touring.
We did Las Vegas, North Hollywood, a couple shows in Santa Ana.
So a handful. You played quite a handful of shows.
We're going to
we're doing
St. George Grand Junction.
Nope, just Grand Junction.
Moab.
2 weeks.
Moab.
Grand
Sorry.
Junction.
So those haven't happened though.
They're coming up. We're stoked.
So
this last one,
listeners listening to this that are Moab and
20th and 21st,
of February.
February.
This should be up before then, definitely.
We never played Moab before. I was super stoked. I've been trying to get us to show down there for a while. And
do people like what's the scene like?
Well, there's if I'm not mistaken,
Moab.
there's like 3 bars down there, 2 of which only have live music.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, I think it's going to be awesome. From what I've heard from other bands and stuff, it's going to be, people come out to see.
Yeah. I've never been to Moab. I've lived in Utah for over 20 years more or less. Besides my little East Coast stand.
There's people that's what's interesting about the state is there's people traveling from Germany and all these different countries all the time to experience all this stuff that's just hours away from us, or just minutes away from us, and I actually hadn't been to a lot of these places a few years ago, and I think it's a worthwhile cause,
totally,
man. Yeah. I think you should go to Moab.
It's a beautiful little town.
So Salt Lake,
look at some rocks.
Make a road trip to go see you guys in Moab, right?
Come with us.
What is it? 3 hours?
It's like 3 hours.
Right?
We'll be like we'll be like the Grateful Dead to your. No.
Hogan heads?
We'll be nothing like
Folkers.
We will be like
the Folkers? Is that what you guys call your groupies? The Folkers?
Yeah, Folkers and Folkettes.
If you're in prison, you're a mother Folker.
Oh
But yeah, and then we're going to Grand Junction after that, which is like our home away from home, essentially.
Yeah, that's
We
gonna
like
be
this there.
wild.
We have a ton of friends there. We've always had an awesome reception there, and
Wedding reception.
it's going to be
Yeah.
as amazing as it always is, I'm sure.
So your recent Vegas, is that your first time you played in Vegas? Or
Yeah.
Yeah. How'd that go?
We went
Great.
off the
Moses got a
script,
tattoo.
it was great.
I got
Yeah, you know what? Actually, you posted something. What was the reasoning behind the tattoo?
So here's the thing.
make
I've wanted to do this for years. I've wanted, basically, when we get to a town on a tour, we pile some money together. Anyone that is interested wants to be part of it can be part of it. And then there's some sort of game of chance, and whoever wins that game of chance has to get a tattoo with the money. And
Game of chance.
so for us, this time it was just Canyon and I involved, so it was a flip of a coin.
Boom, heads or tails.
That's all it was.
It could have been push this barrel though. I don't know what the game is.
It could be anything. We'll come up with a game at the moment.
Right. Catch the duck.
If
Love it.
there's more of us involved, what I've wanted to do is actually have people draw something out. And there's some rules about what you can and cannot draw.
Nothing completely obscene.
Yeah. And then basically whoever wins gets to pick one of them, or one of them is set aside, and whoever wins gets that one. We were fortunate enough that the tattoo shop that we went to actually had a page of tattoos that were $10.
Yeah.
Which is what the bet was.
And $10 investment each.
yeah.
Yeah. It's not a bet.
$10 tattoos.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's almost worth driving to Vegas for, too.
Right? Yeah.
Tattoos.
It was 8 lines for a mailbox, and
the best
pretty
part
jelly.
is it was from a tattoo shop called Coolsville.
Coolsville spelled with a K.
Coolsville.
And several workers from Coolsville have recently liked the Folk Hogan page.
Yeah, they were great
And
guys.
so they
Yeah.
might actually hear. They might
guys.
actually hear this.
I still like my tattoo.
You know?
It was
Shout out to Coolsville
Yeah,
Tattoo.
right
Art.
there.
It was
Yeah.
across the street from the Velvet Rabbit that we worked at. And there was an antique store next door, and they had awesome antiques.
Yeah.
Vegas is nice. We had fun.
What was the worst part of that tour?
You know,
There's got to be that moment where you're just like,
Well,
fuck
the
this, I'm going home.
the poison rainwater, man.
for it.
Okay.
Come on.
Jared backed the van into a Mercedes.
He's the least likely person.
Yeah.
He's the best driver by
He's the
far.
best driver, and the van is 1,000 feet long,
Yeah.
and like he'll back it up down alleys
Literally
and never.
thousands.
And the
touched
only,
it.
I feel like the only reason it happened is because of the fact that he's driven it flawlessly for so long that it was just like,
I mean, did he screw the car up?
no, actually,
It was fine, but then we started breaking the windows and shit.
it took
dare you touch our
a
van.
little, it took like a cover for one of the lights off, and that was about it. And there was a tiny bit of paint transfer.
It was
and
seriously
that,
just like a little brush. Yeah, it was, but it was still.
It was
just
amazing.
Like, you hit him.
And he did it because he was wondering where I was, and I was in the back of the van.
I was normally
Where's
everybody's
Canyon
rambunctious after
Yeah.
a show, and I was just like, dude, I can't hear Canyon, and he's back. Is he back there? And I turned my head the other way, and I just hear, and Moses. I remember Moses going like, oh, and I was just like, damn it. And so I mean, you couldn't do less damage to a car if you tried, but I mean, I definitely felt bad.
It was a bummer.
and
it
what
ruins
sucks-
your day.
So we went and found the girl.
Yeah.
and-
Oh, so you didn't just drive away?
No.
Filed the
no.
claim.
No, we have integrity.
You haven't taken.
No, what's awesome though is that like that was, you could say that was the worst part of the tour, but it still wasn't, like, that wasn't even bad. Like
No.
we
It
have
turned into
You
a
guys
good
get along
show.
pretty good, though, right?
yeah,
I mean, no
friends.
fighting.
Yeah,
You guys didn't like
great.
break up in the middle of the tour.
No, we have
So
fun no matter what.
Yeah.
So it's like
This was one of the best. This was one of the best trips we've been
We went to
on.
the
Yeah.
friggin' beach, man.
Yeah.
We all went to the
man.
beach together.
What beach you guys go to?
Newport.
Newport.
Yeah.
Ritzy Beach.
Yeah.
We spent some
See,
time.
I grew up down in Ventura. I don't know if I've told you guys that before, but
We played at
right
Beat-
by the beach there.
We played at
Boy,
Beat
at a
Bandito's Music Emporium,
Okay.
and it was awesome. Those guys were
Santa
great.
Ana, yeah.
Is this your first time to California or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People,
As a band.
people pretty like down with you guys,
Yeah.
like music.
They were a little surprised, and California people can be.
Oh, you guys are from Utah.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
You know,
so
yeah.
since you're from that area, maybe you can maybe you can educate us.
Well, I moved here like 21 years ago?
Okay.
I
think this is something that's pretty ingrained in their culture, though. Why in the hell are there so many donut shops in California?
Because donuts are superior.
What is it about
everything else?
What is it about?
You know, somebody else actually asked me this before. I don't know. Maybe they just have more cops there? I don't know.
That is possible.
I don't know if I saw
Every street consisted of a donut shop, a tire shop, another tire shop,
AutoZone.
I think donut shops are popular
AutoZone.
in any state, though. I think people eat donuts.
I don't know
more
if I've
than
seen
any
a donut shop.
I think
in
it's
Salt
just
Lake,
supply
though.
and demand.
Yeah, well, we got that. There's that one on 27th and State.
Cranberry Cross.
Yeah, right there on 7th.
On 7th.
Can we go there? I want some of that now.
Best local donuts, and
So
then isn't there a new donut shop up in Sugar House on 21st?
This is the thing, though. You guys can think of two. I think Santa Ana had probably
Yeah,
about
no,
30.
this is
Winchell's is a
per
Winchell's.
street.
That was pretty
Like
intense,
you
yeah.
couldn't go somewhere.
You couldn't go a block. Yeah.
Yeah,
Did we just tangent on donuts? Seriously?
No, I want to know.
Hey,
if you're from
it
California,
wouldn't be an
and
episode of I Am Salt Lake without talking about
Yeah.
food, right?
Right.
Everybody break down donut tangent.
if you're listening to this and you're from California, like send an email to donuts at Folk Hogan with an explanation of why there are so many donut shops.
Please.
I
Please.
California.
Like we just want to know.
Interesting is to see if they were all owned by one person.
Right.
Conspiracy.
A donut magnate.
Illuminati, bro.
Sam
up,
Walton,
people?
still alive.
New World Order donuts.
We
That's my
Wake up,
donut shop
sheeple,
name.
eat some donuts.
we've got this rule on tour that we've got one driver and one co-pilot the whole time, and so with the amount of driving that we're doing round trip, there's hours and hours and hours, and so we're constantly like two people are up, and we're constantly riffing about something or talking about something, and I mean it can be anywhere from whatever's going on in space to
Ancient torture methods.
ancient torture
Oh, yeah, I
methods
forgot about
That's
that.
a great place to go.
or whatever.
Or-
But we end up having these at-length conversations about anything and everything on tour, and it ends up almost becoming more interesting than some of the shows.
Yeah.
Oh,
Almost.
We also it's been a rule since like the first tour we ever did that when we first get in the van to leave, we have a piece of paper and someone will draw something and pass it along.
Yep.
And so by the end of tour, we end up with these murals. And they are super vulgar and terrible, but it's like...
It tells the story of the tour.
It does. Like there's
beautiful.
always stuff that happened in the tour drawn into there. But it's like it's a wonderful little thing, and so it's great for us to look back at those and laugh about all the stupid jokes that we have had.
Do you post them online or anywhere for people to see, or are these kind of secret?
Not even on our...
This last one, the Vegas one, was pretty damn vulgar. That
I
was
feel like
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people would laugh, but like
More people would be upset.
you'd be surprised what offends people.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't really
just-
understand why people get offended, but it happens.
It'd be an interesting time frame to find someone's thoughts as they look at these pictures, because we'll look back at like previous, road trip
see
pictures.
memories and stuff.
You realize that you've been looking at it for 20 minutes and you're still seeing like new little things in small corners, and it's just like, did I just spend 20 minutes of my day looking at this like horrendous drawing? It's like so intriguing.
Bad dreams.
And there's been like little drawings that have actually like carried over. Like someone will draw it once,
Fiends,
and
yeah.
then like
Draw
a couple tours later, they'll like incorporate it into something else. So there's a flow to it. It's like a
So maybe we'll put out
I like how
a
we're
coffee
talking about
table
this
book or
like it's
something.
interesting. It's all dicks. I mean,
We'll put out a printed
Anything
coffee
phallic
table book,
shaped
and you can
dick.
look at all the dicks and drink coffee.
Bunch of dudes driving in a van drawing dicks.
That's I know it's Freudian.
It's a love story.
Hashtag van
But
life.
no, I mean like all we do in the van, like for 3 days, every time we go on tour, it's just laughter. Like I don't think I have laughed as much as I did this last tour in my entire life.
Nick Passy,
all we did.
when I was navigating from Vegas to California, just like there wasn't a single time where I could like lay my head down or just like, because I was laughing the entire time.
Yeah.
It was so funny. Like my gut hurt when we got out every time to fill up gas. Like, it was ridiculous.
a good healthy dose of sleep deprivation and despair. Oh, and like a good group of
hangover,
friends that you are spending every waking moment with.
Lack of nutrition.
Hangover, the bad smells. All of these things are just like they're just like a wonderful meadow for good jokes to lay in and just bask.
Wow. So poetic.
That was.
Before I go too far, actually, I was talking to a friend. I said, I'm going to be sitting down with Folk Hogan. Is there anything you want me to ask him? And she wants to know what your favorite cereal is, your favorite breakfast
French
cereal.
Toast Crunch. Ooh. By far. I'm gonna cut everyone off French Toast Crunch because it's back and it's delicious.
I know it's an obscure question put into an
Product
obscure
placement.
spot.
I personally,
French Toast Crunch.
I don't eat cereal.
You don't eat cereal?
No.
But you don't just like to sit down and just
Communist.
eat like
Oh, dude, eggs and toast.
You think you're better than us?
No, it's
Is
just...
that what you're saying?
cold cereal? Like put some milk, almond milk, soy milk, something on there, you know? That Fruity Pebbles
I just...
Oh, yeah, dude.
It's
Look
not
at
my
me,
thing.
I'm high and
Yeah.
mighty.
No.
Well, Moses is out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I lose. I lose the contest.
I don't know.
I'll probably say Reese's Puffs.
Oh, that's
Okay.
good too.
Well, you can have the same one.
No, what's funny is I guess to me cereal is more of like the late night dessert thing. Like I don't do a lot of like ice cream or whatever, but it's like if I have cereal, I don't like make the effort a lot of times to be like, I need all this cereal. Like it's more of a dessert thing for me. So it's whatever I'm in the mood for. You know, I always buy the off brand, like the bagged Dino Bites or Cap'n Crunch or you know, whatever. If it's mostly air, I can eat it for days.
There's an off brand of like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Oh god, I'm a cereal connoisseur. I just realized what it
Admiral Knox.
It's blueberry muffin tops. And
Oh,
it's like the
those are
little
delicious. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
I think
about.
that you just like other breakfast foods that have been shrunken down.
If it were me talking, this my favorite cereal would just be a mini egg bites.
It's like a whole genre for you.
Pizza's not for breakfast!
So there's this you take like a Denver omelet. It's shrunken down, dehydrated, and covered in sugar.
No, we're gonna make biscuits and gravy the size of a jelly
I still need two more cereals here.
Wow, this is like when my brothers would put their knee on my chest and punch me as a child and say, name 10 cereals, and they'd keep punching until I named them all, except for I can't even think of one, so I'm going to pass the torch to Curtis.
Okay, well, that was pretty deep there. I'm sorry that's that product.
You can't even just think of one oatmeal or something? Come on.
I love oatmeal.
Come back to Nick.
Oatmeal's delicious.
Like,
So-
is Pabst Blue Ribbon a cereal? He's like, I'll take that as
Jack Daniel's Crunch.
It works for milk on certain things.
They talk about the JDC, yo?
Yeah.
So I would say for my favorite cereal, if it's without milk and just munching on it, like just reaching into the box, I would have to say just regular Life, not even Cinnamon Life, just regular Life. I love that. But if I'm going to be adding milk, Cocoa Puffs. Or no, not Cocoa Puffs, Cocoa Krispies.
There you go.
When I was in high school, back when I was in my cereal days, back when I was like you youngsters, I would get Cocoa Krispies, and I'd pour it into a bowl, and I'd pour in chocolate milk, and I'd put powdered sugar on top of it. And I called it Cocaine Krispies.
not 300 pounds.
Well, I mean, that's probably, not good for me, but,
Yeah, have you thought about that blood pressure?
yeah, I know, that probably has a lot to do with my
Diabetes.
So, other shows coming up. You guys have probably other besides Colorado.
well,
Do you want to talk
we
about
got St. Patty's
St.
coming up.
Patty's Day.
Oh, man.
You want to talk about that for a minute?
We play St. Patrick's Day at Woodshed every year, regardless of what
How
day
many
it
years
is.
have you been doing that now?
This will be our third year, I think.
Because you guys are like a St. Patrick's.
Well, you know what?
band.
That's
We can
the
throw
weird
it in
thing,
that
though.
Fish in a barrel, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the weird thing, though, is that, like, we have drinking songs, and our instrumentation has, mandolin, banjo, accordion. So, like, inherently, I think that people think Irish when they hear that. And that's fine.
Are any of you guys Irish?
You're either
I feel like
bluegrass or Irish.
I feel like everyone becomes Irish on St. Patrick's Day.
Right?
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, I'm like 1/28th.
Where's the
Irish.
green beer?
Well, think about
Yeah.
the fear.
It's kind of just like it's a holiday for drunks.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
But remember all growing up where we were constantly threatened about like physical injury? I'm going to pitch you if you don't celebrate this.
Right? Yeah.
Do you still not do that?
No, I don't. If people touch me, I'm going to dole. If you touch me, I'm going to like deck you.
You know what? I would like to issue I'd like to issue a challenge. Everyone go to work on St. Patrick's Day and pinch everyone
See how many lawsuits
that
you
doesn't wear green and see if you end up in the HR office or not at the end of the day. I'm sorry, I thought that it was a holiday today.
The tradition isn't that you can pinch nipples.
Apparently,
I didn't know nipples were off limits.
Apparently, holidays aren't important to Walmart.
Guess I just can't pinch nipples anymore. What the fuck, man?
But I think that we actually... I don't know about anyone else. I've yet to remember a St. Patrick's Day show at Woodshed.
Wow, that's such a good advertisement. If you want to see the band without their pants on.
Yeah, the whole thing is, last year, I don't remember anything. I'm pretty sure the band doesn't, but I don't think anyone who was watching remembered anything.
Oh, yeah.
I think everyone was just wasted good time.
I remember everything clearly.
What's even talking about? Damn it!
And for those listening, Jared's phone went off. His phone rang. So, St. Patrick's Day Woodshed. Well, let's get back to the conversation.
Just try and recover from that.
Yeah, we've got
any other shows you want to promote at all?
Yeah,
obviously April 10th.
All of the shows, all of the time.
March 13th, we're playing at Bar Named Sue up on Highland. And then March 27th, we're playing in Ogden, which we don't do terribly often. We're playing at Funk and Dive. We've never played there.
Brand new bar. Brand new bar. They're like across the street from the courthouse. They're in the basement. They're like a PBR and bacon dive bar.
I've heard nothing but amazing things about that place.
Awesome.
Already,
you take the owner of Piper Down, you take the owner of Green Pig, and you put them together, and that's the bar that they've come up with out of Salt Lake.
Yeah, we always enjoy playing.
Two great bar owners, two great bars have come together to open up a third business that's just
two great tastes that taste great together. Right.
But we're so Facebook. That's probably obviously follow you guys on Facebook.
FolkHogan.com
has a complete.
Total list.
So, I mean, we love to see. I mean, if you like us on Facebook, we love to see. Hear your thoughts about things.
Yeah,
if you come to a show, post pictures. I mean, we love to see all that stuff. We really geek out on it. At least
we
I
like
do
to hang
personally.
out.
Yeah, whatever social media thing you interact on, we're probably on it. We're probably active. I mean, some of us
we have a MySpace.
Some of us do stuff on Reddit. Some of us do stuff on Instagram. Some of us do stuff on Twitter. Some of us do stuff on Facebook and
Friendster.
There's different ways to interact with the band on all of those. It's a very level platform in that regard.
Do you guys have a Folk Hogan Tinder?
We should.
We should.
I was going to discuss that today. I was going to bring
see
it
who
up.
likes you.
No,
That's
we don't. But on the drive home from California, Cameron sat in the front seat of the van,
everyone,
and just yesed thousands of women.
But to be fair,
I was just dicking around. Yeah,
to be fair, 10 of 10 of those girls were attractive. I don't know what it was about the area or
none of them were my sisters.
Settings or whatever.
He burned himself.
Oh wait, this was the girls in Vegas.
Oh, it was in Santa Ana. Yeah.
Santa Ana. I mean, it's just
you guys rockers.
Beach town.
Fucking rock. Oh, could we talk about that?
My God.
Every single time we would stop for gas or whatever, it was. I've never experienced this before, not being in a band, but it was just the coolest and sometimes weirdest thing. Yeah. That we would just attract people and they would just start. Are you guys in a band?
Hey,
we met
because they would see a big van.
Yeah,
big van full of gear and some long-haired dudes.
And we met this really rad dude driving a really ritzy Mercedes that I was geeking out on. We met this chick named Lena Scissorhands or something. She plays in Russia in a band called Infected Rain, which is this metal band. They're big over there.
They traded CDs.
Yep. Yeah, traded CDs.
That was awesome.
We met a couple of wackos.
And then this car pulls up, and of course it has Florida plates.
So good.
And this dude gets out, and he's he has his shirt tucked into his underwear.
Yeah.
And he has his fly down. And his underwear are poking out of his pants.
Which was an awesome look.
And he gets out of the car and he goes, "You guys rockers?" And we're like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Rockers fucking rock! Rockers fucking rock!"
Like, don't get me wrong.
Nobody go anywhere. We're gonna drink a whole bottle of booze.
He was a really nice. He was a really nice guy,
Yeah.
but he was noticeably drunk. He just drove there, and there was a small child.
Wait, so he was driving.
And there was a small child in the back of the vehicle.
There were two kids in the
and his
back.
wife.
And
Oh, maybe it's wife. Yeah.
you know, and
There was another dude though too.
and just you know,
Rockers fucking rock, bro.
Yeah, rock. Yeah, rock.
rockers rock.
Rockers.
Anybody ask for your autograph?
Yeah.
We sold a couple CDs and like
And,
just a
you know,
gas
yeah.
station.
Yeah.
was like
Yeah.
People-
They did ask for them. Yeah.
You know,
All of
what-
us had to sign that stuff.
Like obviously, I'm infatuated with merchandise. I love, like, one of the most exciting things about being in a band is the ability to create posters, to create shirts, to create lunch boxes, to create beer koozies, like whatever it is. And on the flip side, I go to a show and I'm like, oh man, look at this silkscreen poster. It's signed and numbered and it's so cool. And, you know, look at this baseball tee and look at this. Look at the artwork on this album. Like, somebody spent so much time putting this together, and I appreciate that stuff on a really, like, cellular level, and we like to focus on that stuff, and it's just it becomes very, I don't know, interesting, and so when people, you know, are purchasing something from the band and they decide like, oh, you know, will you guys sign this poster? It's like, yeah, of course we'll fucking sign the poster. Like, why wouldn't they? Like, and I don't think anybody's like, oh man, this is gonna be worth, you know, this is gonna be worth money someday. But it's like a
neat.
really
Yeah,
cool
it's
way
fun.
to be like, I don't just have this like wall of media that I bought. Like,
Yeah.
I have this CD from some people that I met
Yeah.
and I interact with, you
Like,
know, and
I-
it
brings
brings
back
it
that memory.
personal.
Oh, it's great. The first time I ever saw Neva Denova play, I went out to get an autograph from their singer, and he like pulled out a flask, and like we drank whiskey together, and like every time someone pulls out a flask in front of me, I now talk about that, and it's like, and so now I think about that being in a band, like I do stuff like that with people, and it's like it's weird to be on the other end of that, and it's so we've been so lucky. We have such an amazing fan base and so many supportive friends and family. Like,
So many.
it's unbelievable. Like, we are the luckiest band that I know of, for sure.
Anything else you guys want to add? Let's play another. Oh, you want to play an old song, a new song?
We'll do a new- we'll do
Let's do
another
another new song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
What? We'll end the show out with another song, unless there's anything else you guys want to talk about or mention. Twitter, Folk Hogan. I'll put all the
just-
links on the website.
Yeah, just
folkhogan.com.
thank you for supporting the I Am Salt Lake podcast. Like,
Totes.
we
Yeah.
love
to it.
Definitely.
we love listening to the different interviews, and a lot of our friends.
Even though it's been a while since I've had
yeah,
We
it's
want you to
been a
be back.
while,
We're
but
happy.
you know,
We forgive you.
Yeah.
It's-
I needed a small break to work on some other projects.
Look who decided to do a burger!
This guy! No!
That was
okay,
a short one.
That's a short one. This is a reoccurring theme
With what?
with the band.
Anyone gets
Any,
short stick or somewhere?
anytime, you know, somebody shows up
kidding.
late or you know,
Spill your beer on it.
gotta
spill your
a little
beer
bit,
on
yeah.
something, we kind of just all go off like that. And it's
Thanks, guys.
it's a fun way. No, but like
It's more a level of acceptance. You know? It's not
We're-
like pushing someone.
we're excited to make the comeback, man. Get the old podcast
No,
back
you
together.
guys are one of my favorite local bands. So you know, I'm honored to. And I'm not just saying that because you guys are here, though. You know, I mean,
I remember you
honestly,
since
I
the
mean, yeah, don't beat me.
We've
up.
seen you at the shows. We know.
I'm there, man.
We know you're in bed with the band.
We see you in the pit.
Yeah.
Circle.
Has anybody ever started a pit at one of your shows?
He's a wife.
You haven't been to enough shows.
I haven't.
No,
my
we've
wife
had a
got
couple.
her nose broken in a mosh pit at
We've
one
had
of
a
our
couple
shows.
Yeah.
That was in the
yeah.
earlier days.
It's weird. I don't know. I don't really understand it. I
Nick-
get it. I like it. You know,
People get
Nick's
drunk
into stage
and they get
diving.
excited.
You
Does
gotta
that get you
remember that.
excited as a band when you see that? You just
yeah.
fuck yeah.
There's nothing better
Yeah.
than the crowd getting into it, because it's like you gain even more excitement on stage by seeing them, and so you get way more into it, and then they see you get more into it, and they get more into it, and it's like this
snowball conspiracy, bro.
Yeah,
if you start it with 100% and bring it, and then the crowd brings it a little more, all of a sudden there's further to go. And
but you know we've had
like our 4-hour gig last night in Park City that was sold out, and it was awesome.
Man, there's something about Park City at like 12:30, 12:45 at night. There's always just like hordes of beautiful women just dancing like no one is watching, just drunk off their faces, and you know that's been a home away from home because of that for us. But
so
well, what song are we playing?
Yeah, we're gonna play some Flying Trapeze right here.
Flying Trapeze.
So this song is Moses and I mainly singing, but everyone's doing vocals, and we kind of take turns, and Moses goes first.
I think this song is probably what a lot of people have labeled us as, quote, pirate rock, which is just odd, but I mean, whatever.
It makes sense.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
It's pretty upbeat.
It's really cool. Very, I think, pretty unique sounding.
It's in G minor, so go ahead and get your G minor.
Don't forget to tune it up 4.5%.
Go ahead and get your G minor harmonica out of the case and play along. after the tone.
Oh, bring your lunchbox.
Bring your lunchbox, man.
Trapeze like a leaf in a tree. When we sail, we're at ease, and the audience is pleased. We're hopeful, although we never will know. Though the swings come and go, if we end up below.
Like a boat on the waves in a storm, an oath of truth and a love I have sworn. My enemies know that they have been warned. When I fight to the death. I slice through the air with the wind in my hair, and I haven't a care, and I float on your prayer. Brown is a blaze, grotesque and disgrace. The sky is my home.
Like a leaf in a tree. When we sail, we're at ease, and the audience is pleased. Hopeful, although we never will know. Though the swings come and go, if we end up alone. And I float like a boat on